What is up, everyone? Hope you guys are enjoying today. Um, on today's episode, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about something that is very common and very, very sad for men. Is that men, we're we're supposed to be the backbone of any relationship. We're supposed to be the essentially the structure of a relationship. And that's not the case. Like, that shouldn't be a case. A man cannot express his emotion or express how he is, because if he does, people are gonna judge him, saying that this person is not a man. This person isn't who you need to be with. And it affects a lot of people in their relationship, because as men, we are labeled to be a financially stable thing, but for men it's not the case. Like, most people, most men are struggling to figure out exactly what they want to do, and that is normal. Men are supposed to be able to do that and not be expected to, have their shit figured out all of a sudden, right? For people, it takes time. For men, it takes time to figure out what they want to do, what makes them happy. And we get this labeled of being independent, not having any emotions, always paying for first dates, always paying for this and that. But how is that fair to men? How is that fair to us men that are still struggling to figure out what we want to do? But society has this role for us to play, while in reality everything around us is changing, but we're expected to stay the same and do the same thing as we used to be able to do. But when is our time gonna come for us to have essentially our own, like, freedom, and not having to live by this society rules of being a provider? Let me tell you something. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. Man is only loved under condition that he can provide. Now, I want you guys to let that sink in for a second and realize that how bad it is for us guys to be able to essentially have that mentality of society telling us you need to have your life figured out or else no one's gonna love you. But if anyone else was in that situation that wasn't a man, they will be loved and accepted by society regardless. But us men, we're not accepted at all unless we are a provider, unless we have our life figured out. How is that fair? Now, I know this is something a lot of people are not gonna agree on. And you know what? It is what it is. I could care less. I talk about things that I genuinely want to talk about and I see an issue with. And genuinely, it's not fair for us men. And I'm not saying that us men we're the best. Honestly, we're not. We have some good men and some bad men, right? But the society seems to wanting to punish all the good guys because of all the mistakes that a bad person essentially made. How is that fair? Please, someone explain to me that. How is that fair for society to judge us as men and label us as providers, when in reality half the people in the world that aren't men, and this could be anyone, I'm not specifying any gender or anything, that they don't have to have this label on them, that essentially all the stress goes onto a man. You as men have no one to talk to. Men, we're expected to just push our emotions down, push our feelings down in our stomach, and carry on. But in reality, a lot of men, they just need someone to have there with them to just talk and express how they feel and express their emotion. But society has this label on us saying that you're not supposed to do that. And it's really, really, really sad. And the rate for male suicide is really high because of it. Because a lot of people, a lot of essentially men, cannot handle that stress. And the only way for the man to essentially feel like a bit happier is either by drinking, smoking, doing shit that he's not supposed to do, only because he's labeled as a provider and that he has no emotional support system to essentially help him. And going back to the saying, men have the highest suicide rate because we can't talk about our feelings. We can't express our feelings to anyone because as society labels us, we're a provider, and we are only loved under the condition that we're a provider. And it takes a huge toll on men, and it causes a lot of men to essentially end their life. And in this day and age, especially nowadays, like, things for men are so rough. Like, it's genuinely hard to explain, like, how hard it is for men nowadays to feel loved. Because if he's not a provider, if he doesn't have his financial state already suitable or have his life figured out, no one's gonna love him. Like, that takes a huge toll on a man. But anyway, all we men ask for is a little bit of equality. Like, and all I ask is, if you're in a relationship and you see your partner is stressed out and stuff, just take a minute and talk to him. Let him express his feelings. Let him express his emotions. Because that's all we want as men, is to just express our emotion and our feelings. But I hope you guys have a good afternoon. I'll see you guys later. Peace and love.